if the FBI was a company and they had a review online right now and they had to fix their reputation, man, I got a lot of work to do to gain the trust of the American people today.
I agree, 100%. But you have to understand, and I'm going to go back to a perfect example, just to put things in context as to why the FBI is not the same FBI that's recognizable, not only to me, but a lot of people that are similarly situated that have retired and still are there. When I got into the FBI, there was a fit test. The fit test was you had to run 1.5 miles. You had to do sit-ups. You had to do push-ups. You had to do pull-ups. Do you realize now that the FBI Academy has done away with, quote-unquote, the fit test? Now, again, don't want to piss off any of the people that are listening, but let's be honest. You have to be fit because the job should be very physically demanding at times. Yeah. And what happened was there was a person who couldn't pass the fit test. They got recycled once, they got recycled twice, and then on the third time when they couldn't pass the fit test, they terminated that person. You know what that person did?
Probably sued them.
That's exactly what happened. They sued. And then you know what the FBI did? They said, well, it's a disability. The person's overweight. Maybe we don't need to have the fit test. So they did away with the fit test.
Dismantled it.
Exactly like I say when you have the participation trophies. And now you have...
What year was that, by the way?
They did away with the fit test in 2004, 2005.
Oh, so this has been coming for decades
now. This
isn't new.
No. This has been coming...
The softness you're
correct.
talking about.
And now we have... How does an FBI meet his criteria, his requirements?
Yeah, how do they do
when
that?
When I did that,
have a poll?
That was the success of your cases, meaning, you worked cases... if you ended up arresting someone, you got a that-a-boy. Now you have a checklist. How many informants, how much restitution, how many seizures, how many warrants, how many felony convictions. And so when you break it down into a checklist and you have a chance to go either way, to arrest or not arrest someone, well, if you realize you're coming up with your performance appraisal and you need to arrest someone, you're going to arrest that person. Why? Because you got to check that box. That's not the FBI that's recognizable to me. But when you make it that way, and by the way, and what the public doesn't understand, and here's a fact, true scenario. If I come out of Podunk, someplace in the United States out of the academy, and I go to 26 Federal Plaza, which is where the FBI is located in New York City, you can imagine someone coming from little place in Arkansas who now has to uproot his family of 4 and try to find a place to live within 2 hours of New York City because you're not going to be able to afford an apartment. And now you're going to work at 26 Federal Plaza. You can't find a legal parking spot, and you're absolutely miserable. Your kids are miserable. Your wife is miserable. Here's the reality. After 18 months of coming out of the academy, I can raise my hand and take a specialty transfer to FBI headquarters. What does that do? Well, you'll spend the next 18 months at FBI headquarters, and then when you come out of FBI headquarters, you're now a supervisor. Now, think about this. You're in the bureau less than 4 years, and you're going to come out into the field office and supervise guys that have 15, 20, 25 years. That's not going to work. But you have these young kids that are doing this, and now you have this culture, this mentality, this social media. You'll keep in mind the kids that are coming out of the academy are driven by social media. By the way, when I went into the FBI, you couldn't have ever. Listen, I'm 58, and I can say this. I have never smoked marijuana. And when I applied to the FBI, no drugs. If you had done any drugs in your life prior to applying to the FBI, it was automatic disqualification, right? In this day and age, it's now if you haven't done marijuana in the last 3 years. Now, I'm not being critical. I'm not taking a position on marijuana. But what I'm saying is now we've changed the rules. We've laxed them. The applicant, the type of individual. See, I want the FBI to have disciplined individuals. And that's why I'm the biggest advocate for people that come out of the military. Why? because they are so disciplined and they don't ask why, they just do it and they stand at attention. They'll stand there for 16, 20, 24 hours and they won't move. They won't go to the bathroom. They won't have to look at their cell phone. You know, when I worked at the FBI, keep in mind, cell phones were something you carried in a suitcase. So not everybody had a suitcase, right? At best, we had a beeper. We had a pager. You go into the FBI, FBI agents, they all have cell phones. Everybody's on social media. Everybody's getting their media, their information through social media. That's making us brain dead. And I think there's a disconnect. The public thinks FBI agents are something above us being human. No, the FBI is made up of human beings, men and women. And the men and women that are coming out of college, coming out of graduate school, coming out into the world have this demented, distorted view. Why? Because they're watching TikTok, they're Facebook, and all this garbage that's being fed. That's the new and upcoming FBI agents.
We know the military just recently is their lowest ever recruiting shortage they've had in a long time, to the point where now they're giving $50,000 bonuses for 6 years. Just to join. It's like, you physical, don't worry about you this, or don't worry about it. It's a lot more don't worry than before. I asked the question.
I think you posted something about that on social
Well, the
media.
military is not as attractive because now you can get your loan forgiveness. Listen, when people went to the military, you went to the military because it deferred your expense to go into college, right?
Did not even
Why do
think
I have
about
to do that? Why do I have to need a 6-year commitment to give back to Uncle Sam? And by the way, I'm the biggest advocate and proponent. Listen, you want to give forgiveness? Give those people that raise their hand and volunteer, and God forbid they have to go over into unforsaken, God-awful countries to protect you and I.
Yeah.
And when they come back, give them a house, give them health care, give them loan forgiveness. I'm good with that. But now you just want to give loan forgiveness because I'm lazy and I don't want to get off the couch and go get a job. I don't agree with that. So there's where it's driving also the military.
Wow.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.